guys, what's up? Welcome back to the channel. It's Cynicalex. And now yesterday we made a video on Thor that you guys really enjoyed. So I've had this idea for a while about Odin, Thor's father, and I actually wanted to test it out because Odin is a pretty interesting character in Marvel Future Fight. He was really amazing when he came out in 2017, and then he fell behind the meta, and then recently, about a year ago, he got a uniform in a tier 3, and he shot back up in the meta. And for me specifically, Odin actually carried me through. I know it looks kind of bare bones right now because I took off some of his Odin's blessings, but he actually carried me through all the way to stage 9 null before I had any Pierce. So up until recently, I was singing Odin's praises, but especially with the most recent video I did on CTPs for each character, I'd previously 2 months ago ranked Odin first. Now he's down to like 5th or 6th. And so I wanted to try something new with him. I wanted to test out basically a CTP of energy with him because his damage is okay. It's not bad, and it's definitely good without a lot of other pieces. But given how expensive he is as a character, we kind of need to readjust and reevaluate his value. And I'm actually going to be comparing him today to Captain America Falcon. And the reason why I'm doing that is twofold. One, they both have the same design in the sense that they have no ignore dodge on passives, but they have one skill that gives them a massive amount of ignore dodge. Now in this case, Sacred Sky's Piercer is 100% ignore dodge for 5 seconds. 5 seconds that you can cast every 7.5 seconds is pretty good. And then Falcon, Captain America Falcon, has it on his 5th skill. He's got 70% for 8 seconds. So here you can see it's a little bit of power creep, not exactly that much because he's missing 30%, but it's for 3 seconds longer, yada, yada, yada. You can also basically tell that they have a similar debuff situation because he has a debuff removal for 4 seconds every 8 seconds when he dodges. Odin just has it on his leadership. Not exactly the same, but not that dissimilar. And I'm going to compare these two characters because right now Cap has an energy, and also because Cap is way cheaper than Odin. He's a native tier 1, not a native tier 2, and you don't have to pay crystals to buy him, whereas you have to pay crystals to buy Odin right now. And he only costs 800 CCF to get to tier 3, whereas Odin costs 1600. On top of the fact, if you want to get really technical, that Odin is a universal type, which means he's competing with all of the other universal tier 3s that you're going to want to use books on, whether it's Null, Sentry, Dormammu, Molecule Man, Proxima Midnight, Silver Surfer, Thanos. There's, the list goes on and on and on. You come down here to Loki, Ghost Rider, Thor, Vision, Black Bolt. There's a lot. Whereas for the speed class, there's not a lot. There's like Luna, Rogue, and then you're basically done. Okay, there's maybe Black Widow, but yeah, it's a very short list of speed types that are hot right now. So this is a really good comparison. So we're gonna start off, just get a quick baseline here with him with a CTP of Rage. Now the reason why it's unusual to try him with without a CTP of Rage is because we've always said it's very, very difficult to play Odin without a CTP of Rage. But I'm like, you know what? Why not just try it? So we're going to get a little baseline here. I wanted to do that introduction to explain the rest of the video rather than having to sort of rush to explain it later on while I'm playing. So we're going to do the 3, 2, 5, and then we're going to cancel it to 4. And you can see his Rage actually doesn't proc until I hit the 4 because he has no ignore dodge, right? The other thing that's a bit frustrating about Odin specifically is that his tier 3 skill does not give him any protection against the cage. It doesn't give him any at all. So he basically has, right now, because I don't have any strikers, meaning I don't have any co-op skill, I have no way of dodging the cage in either the first cage or the second cage's situation. So I basically just have to accept that I'm going to lose 10 seconds to being stunned at some point during this fight. So we're doing okay right now. This is pretty much what I expected from him damage wise and speed wise. I did a bit of testing here. We should finish we should finish him off. You can see the burst damage comes in as soon as I press the 4, and there we go. So it takes him just about a minute. This was a little bit slower. This is about 5 seconds slower. I did it in like 402, 403. It takes about a minute to do it. This is just pure raw damage with, you know, my 22% pierce and a CTP of rage. And I gotta feel for Odin. I have to feel for him. I feel kind of bad for him. Not like I gotta get a feel for him, but I feel for Odin falling behind because, like I said, before I had any pierce, he carried me all the way to stage 9. And the reason why I'm highlighting Odin today and Falcon is because of the fact that they will be a lot more flexible for earlier accounts, given the fact that they... Oh, I missed my proc. Okay, well, even though we missed the proc, we can just let this play out, just to showcase how crazy his damage is. Even though he missed even though these characters, you know, have pros and cons, the really good thing about Falcon and Odin, and a couple of other characters too, maybe Daredevil, but his damage is nowhere near as good, is the fact that they can carry you through the content. See here, he can dodge the cage, which is with his tier 3. So this was actually a really slow run, given that I goofed up my first proc. He can do this in about 40 seconds. Let me try one more time here. But anyways, what I was trying to say about Odin is that Odin and Falcon and Daredevil, they have so much ignore dodge that you don't need to worry about having to transcend Valkyrie to support them. You don't have to worry about bringing in a bunch of strikers. We actually missed our proc there. This is great. This is great. I love missing my procs. It really enhances the experience. There we go. We finally hit this. This is the proc that really matters. You can see he does like an insane amount of damage. We actually just skipped the first cage altogether. Yeah, so as you can see, he can do this in like 30 seconds if you get everything to line up properly. There, we missed our proc again. You sort of get the point, right? He's, like I said, 40 seconds. It's 30 seconds, really. So he's blitzing Odin. Blitzing right now. Again, Odin has a rage. Captain America has an energy, and he's like doubling his time easily. I'm not even nailing all my procs, and it's just, you know, and he's got what? He's got one Odin's blessing, and Falcon has Captain America Falcon has 0. Excuse me, man. Those Uru look terrible. I completely forgot that I just haven't. Wow. Okay, well. Listen, I'm gonna leave his Uru that way, as shameful as that sounds, and we're just gonna equip some more energy, because I can see I'm missing energy attack Uru. I'm missing at least 2 energy attack Uru. So I'm gonna equip some energy attack Uru. We're gonna swap him over to an energy, and I'm gonna see if I can make it work with his build. Okay, so here we go. We've equipped him with a CTP of energy. We've swapped around some of his stats to just better optimize things with movement speed now that he doesn't need dodge as much. We've given him some Uru, so he's pretty much good to go, and he's essentially capped on all of the relevant stats. I'm missing about 4% on crit damage, but that's an easy fix here with just 1 crit damage Uru. So now we can go ahead and test to see not only how difficult it's going to be to manage his rotation, but now how much more damage he can do, if he can even keep up with someone like Captain America Falcon. Now keep in mind, with the old rotation, we were doing a 3 cancel 2 cancel 5, and you can even do 3 cancel 2 delayed cancel into 5. But anyways, 3 2 5, and then as soon as you see the big Odin, you do 4. We can't do that anymore because we're basically going to end up proccing midway through 5, and all of his, not all of his damage, most of his damage is going to be on 4, especially because he only has 40% ignore dodge, and he's going to jump up to 140% when we do Sacred Sky Piercer. So what we're actually going to do, my plan is to do 2 3 4 and proc on 2 3 4. Hopefully we'll be able to pull that off. I don't know. I've literally never tried Odin with an energy, so this is brand new territory for me. We're going to do 2 3 4 proc, and then we're going to do 5 2 3 4 and see if that works. So we're going to bait out this purple thing, and then 2 3 4. No proc there. Wow. Okay, so that was extraordinarily unlucky. There's also the thing to consider is that on the first rotation, we may get knocked back because of the fact that we don't have the invincibility from 5 up. So that's actually a problem. I don't want to keep resetting here. There we go. And then we're going to do 5. And then 1, 2. So we can't actually splash in the 3 every time. Okay, but this is not bad, actually. Here what we're going to do is 6 4 proc. Nothing. So we're gonna do okay. We're gonna do 2, 3, 5 proc. I'm still getting used to when I can proc and what I can proc on. We're just gonna let that, even though we're stunned, we're just gonna let that do damage. Okay. Yeah. That's pretty good. Okay. Wow. That was kind of disappointing. So he doesn't have enough hits, it seems like. That was the same time. Yeah, wow. This was not what I expected at all. Did I really goof up that rotation that much? Okay, I don't know if this is going to work, but let's try. What I think is going to happen, I think we're going to proc early every single time. But let's just try 2, 3, 5, delayed cancel 4. So this would be the perfect rotation. See, look at that. This would be the perfect rotation. But the fact that we were able to hit that on the very first try is not reflective of what is actually going to happen, because there's just so many hits. Maybe there just isn't that many hits. This is 6. See, that's great. See, that damage is great. And this is just the buff from 4 plus a little bit of damage on 5. Just not enough there. So this was 2, 3, 5, 6, 4. And we're basically just proccing on the chain hits from 4 and 6 simultaneously. Do we just keep the same rotation? Wow, I guess we do. We're actually getting snared here, which is a shocker. So we got interrupted a little bit more. That definitely felt faster. We also definitely got really lucky. Wow. So maybe you just keep the exact same rotation, but honestly, it's not much better. I honestly think I got snared and interrupted there a little bit at the end, so that might have been 4 minutes and 10 seconds. But even at 4 minutes and 10 seconds, what's the point? What's the point? I can have a terrible run with Falcon, just a terrible run. I can literally miss half of my procs. There, I just missed my first proc. Okay, we're gonna count how many procs I missed here. I don't think I missed a single proc with Odin. I got definitely snared at one point, but we didn't miss a proc. So we missed the first proc, we nailed the second proc, and look at this damage, dude. This is like easily 15 bars plus. Look at this. And if we had hit both procs, I think we'd be done here. I think if I'd hit my first proc and if my second proc hadn't been late just now, it's over. Like, look at this, man. That was 35. I can't pause it. That was 35 seconds, and I missed my first proc, which lost me like 2 or 3 bars. And I got stunned for 5 seconds, which again lost me another 5 seconds. So this is a 25-second run. It's just like way easier, way better. He heals way more than Odin. His Odin isn't his heal, not his Odin. His heal isn't clunky because, I mean, it's clunky in the sense that you have to dodge, but Odin's heal is clunky because you can't be in an iframe. So, because if you're in an iframe, then the Raven can't see you on Raven Pulse, and then the Raven doesn't heal you, by the way. So if you press 3, 4, and then you're in iframe during 4, you don't get the heal. So you have to be on 2 or 5 or one of his other skills. So I'm actually kind of surprised that I'm surprised by 2 things. Really surprised. I'm very, very surprised that his rotation doesn't really change. And again, that may be the case because I'm using 40% ignore dodge, right? But again, with Odin, the whole point is that you get 100% dodge, especially against characters like enemies like Quicksilver, Corvus, and Null. You don't want to waste ignore dodge strikers, and that's what I was trying to say earlier in the video about Captain America, Falcon, and Odin and Daredevil, is that they will help your roster even more for this type of content because you don't have to then use more ignore dodge strikers, so you can save them for your other 4 clears. That's why Doctor Strange's leadership is still good. That's why Spectrum's leadership is so good, right? Because it's giving you multiple layers of value. But I'm surprised that even with 40% ignore dodge, when he does this, there's no proc until I hit 4. There's like 40 some odd hits, right? It's wild. But yeah, this would be the ideal situation. We're hitting 4 players. That was really only 50 hits. That really wasn't that many hits if you think about it, but basically, let me push this guy away so that I can just test on him. Okay, now we're grouping them up here. Let me fix this really quickly with Hulk. Hulk is the easiest character to do this with. Yeah, see? Default Hulk is the man when it comes to this kind of thing. And then we just gotta find Odin in this just mess of characters. Okay. So 3, 2, 5. So it's only about 22 hits before the proc, and then it's like 60 hits. 60 hits is not bad. 60 hits is the combo of 2, 3, 4, 5. Or 2, 3, 5, 4. But the fact that there's so many hits, there's like 20 plus hits before the proc with 40% ignore dodge, and I didn't miss my proc once, is kind of a surprise. But then that's the first surprise, that the rotation seems to be the same. The second surprise is that the damage is basically the same too. Like, he's maybe 5 seconds faster, maybe 5 seconds. I mean, at most you could argue maybe 10 seconds faster. But that's the thing. Why would you do that? If we're talking about how easy they are to play, just play with a rage. It's way easier. And usually, when we're talking about speed, you want to see a CTP swap at least 30 seconds. 30 seconds is basically the minimum. In my opinion, if you're swapping from an obelisk to a CTP, or you're swapping from one CTP to another, and you're not seeing at least a 30-second increase on your World Boss Legend clear times at any stage with any amount of Pierce. It doesn't just apply to my situation, any situation. If you're not seeing at least a 30-second increase in timing, there's no point. Because 30 seconds means they can go at least one stage higher. So if you're not even getting that much value, then there's just no like, why would you waste 300 crystals, let alone 600 crystals, let alone a CTP? Like, I wasted the minimum amount of crystals, 300. Normally you'd waste 600. And then in other cases, if you're swapping from an obelisk, you're wasting a CTP. For less than 30 seconds of clear time, just go down a stage and clear it. It's that easy. Right? And you're not going to have that much issues at stage 1 that you're going to consider giving an energy to Odin, right? So yeah, dang. The Allfather kind of let me down a little bit. I'm a little bit surprised. So yeah, I definitely would not recommend this build for Odin. I would say just stick to a rage, and it makes it so much easier to play him. It'll make him more consistent for things like dispatch and so on and so forth, and leave the energy for characters who are actually going to utilize it in a much more efficient way. And by the way, if this video wasn't enough of an advertisement for Captain America Falcon, if you haven't tier 3 this dude, what are you doing? He's beyond god tier. He might be the best character in the game. He's crazy good. He's insanely good. Wow. Anywho, hit me up in the comments down below. Let me know what you think of the Allfather no more. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.